Welcome to Geektopia, a brand new episode. And in case you're unaware, within Geektopia, we've got little segments, I guess you could call it, little sections. So it's easy to categorize everything. This is Geek Squad. So it's not just me. I'm joined by a few friends. What we do is we talk about something that we've all agreed to watch the week before. So if you want to be involved in something like this in the future, down the line, not for this episode, of course, then make sure you leave a comment and get in contact with us. Maybe a recommendation of what to watch. But for now, let's bring in the Chief Jantan, let's bring in Pradeep Naidu, and also Grumpy Carvin J. So what have we agreed to watch for this week? It's, oddly enough, after we recommended it, it got nominated for an Oscar, Best Picture and all that. Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro. It's got a pretty solid cast. It is a neo-noir film. It's based originally off a book. There was also a film which came out in the 1940s, Tyrone Power. It's now considered a classic of the genre. We watched the film in color because in certain territories, they released it limitedly in black and white as well. So it gave a full noir sort of feeling to it. However, we were unable to watch that in black and white here in Malaysia, but never mind. I kind of would have preferred it in many ways. So firstly, the auteur, the man who is a filmmaker himself. He's a director, the Chief Jantan. I want to know what you thought about the film.
Okay, I enjoyed the film. Of course, I enjoyed the cast from Richard Jenkins all the way to Cate Blanchett. But for me, I mean, I enjoyed it, but nothing really stood out for me, I feel. You get what I mean? Like it wasn't something that I would want to watch again.
Yeah.
It wasn't something where I will remember. Like even right now, I already don't remember half of it, except the little baby in
the jar.
The jar.
Enoch.
Yeah. Other than that, nothing much memorable, except like something that Kavi might enjoy, right? Bradley Cooper semi-nude.
Well, yeah, masked a bit by the water, and what we saw in there looks very much like the top of your head, Gavin J.
Yes. No, listen. I completely disagree with TL. I really like the story. I really like the symbolism of everything that happened in the movie. Has a symbolism to something that happens later on in the movie, like the baby in the jar, and then his the blindfold he uses has the eye in the center. The fact that alcoholism is the symbolism from the beginning, from he hates it to he becomes it. It's
becoming a geek.
Yeah, and he should join the Geek Squad.
Yeah.
So basically, the whole point of this thing is that as a performer myself, right? I found this to be it related to me a lot because you go out there, you find so much, you try to search for clout. At the end of the day, it comes back and bites you. It's a circle kind of thing. And just be careful what you do. Don't go too far. Just do what you do and you will be okay. But Bradley Cooper's character decided to go the extra step to con people and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, it's how much fame, how much chasing fame gets you to where you are. And also the fact that I love the subtle differences between the 1947 movie till today. Like for instance, like there was one part where he says, I was born for this when they asked me to be the geek. It was supposed to be I was made for this in the original movie. And also there's an extra scene in the original movie which is at the
happy ending.
Yeah, there's a happy ending. And you know why they did it? Because, by the way, if you ever make a film in Malaysia, you will know this. It's that even now, like in Malaysia, films must have a happy ending. You cannot have a dark ending. It will not be accepted anywhere. So in 1947, I understand that happened in US, but now they've come so far that they can make the dark ending movie.
Yeah,
he becomes a geek and that's it. So we are still stuck in 1947 in Malaysia.
I didn't watch. I've never seen the 1947 one. So what's the happy ending for that one?
The wife comes back and takes him away from the circus, so he doesn't become a geek.
She's working at like the same circus, it turns out, as when he's a geek, and so she rescues him pretty much.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
About the geek part, I mean that was because I never seen the first one, so
read the book, I presume, which everything's based off. Yeah.
It was kind of predictable for me that he would turn out to be the geek at the end. I don't know. Maybe it was just me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a modern book. We have to remember that. So nowadays we expect so many twists and turns and all of that, particularly because the directors Guillermo del Toro, he expected it to be more of a horror movie, but it isn't. It really is a tribute to noir films. I love noir films. I have a real affection for them, and I thought it was a masterpiece in that sense. That's why I wished I'd seen it in black and white. And Martin Scorsese, one of the greatest directors in history, actually wrote like an open letter in Vanity Fair or one of the big Hollywood magazines, and he said, "Please go and watch this movie because it is a real tribute to noir films." And that summarized it for me. Some of the shots in it, I mean, like, wow, it's so. I love the shot after. There's so many shots I love the movie. I want to hear Prateep first. Prateep, what did you make of it?
I really like the movie. I like Karin said, the symbolism of it. Like when he was talking to Clem William Dafoe about how he gets geeks, and then that actually happens to him when they pull the shot and all. I was like, I really like how the movie is, and I didn't watch the 1947 one, but there was a video on YouTube like comparing the two. And I also I watched it, and then the ending, like you said, Molly comes back. I prefer this ending, like the dark ending. And I also like the fact that it just ends with him laughing. We don't know what happened to like William Dafoe's character, to Molly. We don't know what happened to everyone that's alive.
Yeah. And apparently that scene of him laughing at the end was really important. And Del Toro said to Bradley Cooper, "You'll probably do 50 or 60 takes for this because it's that important." But he did it on the first take. And that sold it, because you have to convey the craziness, everything in one shot, right? And just one facial expression. I'm not sure I have anything else to add. I mean, it's not that type of film that we're going to say, should there be a sequel? It's perfect as a standalone. You know what? Do you think he'll win Best Picture at the Oscars? Chief Jantan.
Who's he going up against?
Well, here is something a bit controversial. Jimmy Kimmel has come out to say, look at Rotten Tomatoes and the critics' score, because Don't Look Up was like in the 60s or early 70s, something like that. Spider-Man, the latest movie, was in the 90s, but Spider-Man's not nominated for Best Picture. And he said that's unfair. So our last review, or one of our recent reviews, was Don't Look Up. Which do you prefer, the two movies?
For me personally, Don't Look Up. I prefer Don't Look Up.
Do you?
I know you guys will prefer this one.
I definitely prefer this one.
Because of the subject matter, I guess I prefer what it talks about. So I guess, yeah.
Oh, Prateep, do you have a preference?
Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah.
Garvin, I don't really.
No, I mean, look, they're both equally. I honestly think they're both equally as good, in a sense that Don't Look Up is our generation. It's what we are going through right now, and we can feel and relate to that so much. Whereas Nightmare Alley is more of a it's a symbolism relation rather than direct relation. So yeah, but I am a sucker for symbolism, so I still lean towards Nightmare Alley.
Okay, well, the other nominees are Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, which obviously we've reviewed, Drive My Car, Dune's in there, King Richard, the new Will Smith movie about the Williams sisters' father, Licorice Pizza, which I'm really interested to see, Paul Thomas Anderson, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. Those are the nominees for this year.
I haven't seen most of them, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
But I can put money down to say that almost I think Nightmare Alley might just scratch it, because I'll tell you why. La La Land, it's very much the same formula of La La Land, and also the fact that, look, they didn't make a lot of money on the box office, neither did La La Land, to be honest. And let's all face it, the Oscars is just basically a money-making scheme.
Yeah.
It's a circle jerk, so basically who spends the most money wins. So, and I'm very sure that the studios are going to just throw money on this, so that, it's a strong story. I'm not saying that we won't deserve it, but it's very much towards the trajectory of La La Land, where they're just going to spend money, make you win.
Yeah, I feel Kimmel has a point, because it's a superhero movie, lots of effects. Doesn't mean it can't be an outstanding film at the same time. Sadly, Bradley Cooper isn't in the list of nominees for Best Actor. I think his acting was superb in that movie. I'm just going to look up the best director nominees just to see who's in it. And let's see, Spielberg, Jane Campion, Paul Thomas Anderson, Kenneth Branagh, and Ryosuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car.
It's not there.
Not there, but it is up there for best movie at least.
When the Dune director is not there.
Yeah, there's a lot of complaints about that. Even the Dune director isn't in the list, even though Denis Villeneuve did a masterful job.
Yeah.
To watch West Side Story, because from the trailers it seems like it's nothing it's just another Spielberg.
Yeah, I mean it's a remake of the original West Side Story.
Yeah.
Which we've all seen a million times.
It's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
well.
it's well, look, West Side Story is a great story, don't get me wrong, but it's just if that one wins, it's just stop it lah, guys. Just come up with new ideas, can I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen West Side Story on stage, we've seen West Side Story on TV. Just enough lah.
Yeah. Let's give a rating to Nightmare Alley. Carvin J, let's start with you.
I will give it a 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Prateep Naidu.
I want to give it an 8, but I'll bring it down to 7.5 because of the portrayal of geeks.
But that's the thing.
We being in Geektopia, I can accept
No,
that.
but that's where the name geek comes from, right? Because in the circus and carnivals, they were called geeks, and then later on it became a high school kind of name thing that the smart people or the ostracized community is called the geeks as well. So to be fair, we took a negative and made it into a positive. So because of that, I give it 8.5 now.
They are being historically accurate by calling those people geeks. So you're going to give it 8.5, 7.5. What about the Chief Jantan? You're muted, by the way. There you go. 7. I'm going to go with an 8. So we got 8.5, we got 8, we got 7.5, and we got 7. Okay, so there you go. Perfect.
I'm only giving 8.5 because I took his 0.5.
I understood. He borrowed it like you're doing mathematics.
Because I think it deserves that 0.5. That reasoning was completely wrong. So I'm taking that 0.5, putting it into my decision.
Okay.
So it doesn't mess up the average.
Prateep, can we change it? Can you make it an 8 because they didn't have a certain race of people in the sewers, because you were complaining about that last week for Raging Fire?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, then I bring it down. Because of that, I bring it down to 8 now.
8. Okay. If you're wondering what we're talking about, watch last week's episode. Raging Fire, Donnie Yen's film. Okay, I'm just going to jump in and recommend the next movie because I know Carvin has to shoot off soon. It's The King's Man. Is that possible for you guys?
Possible, yes.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see next week my show also,
Oh, that's true. The King's Man, which is the second sequel. Well, technically it's a prequel to Kingsman. So it's Ralph Fiennes and all of that. I'm looking forward to it. And if you have a recommendation, so you could join in the conversation in the future, make sure you leave a comment down below and let us know. There's a lot of things coming out in the not too distant future. This includes TV shows as well. But not one of those 24 episode seasons, please, because I don't have enough time to watch that in a week. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to the 3 guys for joining me here today. Bye-bye for now.